Hey Aries, how's it going? Welcome to Airy Fairy Tarot. I'm Fairlight. How are you doing, man? Well, um, I laid out some cards here and I'm like, is everybody going through like some shitty relationship issues or what? Now, this doesn't necessarily have to mean a relationship issue. Really with you, it isn't necessarily, but there's some stuff here that is kind of like that. And then there's a card over here, a couple of cards. We'll get to them and I'll tell you why. But I want to start with the two that it started out with. I'm like, well, that's an interesting way to start a reading. And I feel like sometimes the first two cards out or whatever, the first cards out are really the whole reading. It's the whole point of it all. And so it's like, this is the thing. But we'll go through and validate all the bullshit and then, but know that this is the thing. So this is the thing. Ace of Swords, blank slate. Your truth, the divine truth. But, it's all relative. The truth, there's some high truth. Like, to me, the highest truth, well, one of the highest truths, if not the highest, is that we're all sovereign beings. A high truth of being a human is understanding we are sovereign. And that doesn't mean that we don't get faced with challenges, and that doesn't mean we just get everything we want. But there is a responsibility that comes with sovereignty. And there is a freedom, obviously, that comes with sovereignty. So, okay, I don't know why I went on that tangent, but I'm just going to believe that you needed that, Aries. What is your truth, though? Because you've been given a blank slate. You've been given a blank canvas. So whatever else goes on in the rest of these cards, the arrival is a blank slate, a blank canvas. So whatever your truth is what's going to color this canvas. It's what's going to draw the new scene or whatever. And this is your new reality. The new reality for you. It's a blank slate. It's a blank canvas. Okay? Can I emphasize that enough? So I feel like possibly what we work through now is going to be where you weren't speaking your truth. And maybe the repercussions of not speaking your truth or not speaking a truth that, it might not even be your truth, but it's like, sometimes we just know when somebody is lying to us. Sometimes we just know. We fucking feel it. We know. And we don't want the uncomfortable, deal. We don't want to deal with calling people out. So we let the lies go. And then we often see the end result of, God, why didn't I just address it right then and there? Why didn't I just call them out? Whatever, whatever. Truth, let truth, help you paint your new reality. Okay. So la. So where do we go from there? Or where do we go from there? All these cards that came out, it's like hard to even know where to begin. I want to address more of the good stuff. Maybe I'll jump around. Okay, well, it's pulling my eyes over here. It looks like there might be some sort of work that you do or something that's really in alignment with what you love to do. Like if you're a painter, it's funny, that'd be funny if you're a painter and you got this blank slate. Then you're painting. Or if you're a musician, you've got a steady gig. If if your passion is accounting, you have a great job with an accounting firm. Like, it doesn't all have to be art, although I like it when it's art. But whatever it is, you like the work you're doing, But unfortunately, it's tied to like 3 lying bitches. I don't mean to laugh, but seriously. Oh shit, and I didn't even see that one. Okay, I'll show you what I did see. You got the Queen of Swords reversed, the Queen of Cups reversed, and the Empress reversed. And then behind the Queen of Cups is this card of fighting, and it's upright. So, and then I'll just go with this. This is a card of doing what you love. This is your work. This is like your life's work, your life's purpose. This is the work. And this way would be walking away. This way is clearly not walking away. So you don't want to walk away because you're doing something you love. However, you wish you could walk away because of these 3 lying bitches. Now, they don't all lie. This one lies. This one uses her words to manipulate or even gaslight. Like, she is a mind fucking person. This is not someone you even want to get into an argument with, because no matter how right you are, she will take you into such a fucking maze. This is a mind fucked bitch. So I'm sorry, Aries, that you're dealing with a mind fucked bitch, but you know, she'll take you somewhere where you'll come out apologizing for even having the nerve to speak your truth somehow. And you know it's not right, but somehow. And don't feel bad, Aries. This isn't a reflection on you, except that you're committed to truth. Okay? It doesn't mean you don't need to be good at beating, gaslighting, manipulative people. Like, that's, you know, I mean, there is a way, like by not giving them your power and asking them questions. But do you even, like, is this person even worth it? No. This one, she manipulates emotionally. She manipulates emotionally. I kind of get a sense, for some reason, with this 5 of Wands upright, I get 2 scenarios. Either this is the one you have the worst problem with. These 2 may not be your problem, but maybe they're constantly fighting with each other. Maybe that's why the fight is in between there. So if that's the scenario, then these 2 are fighting with each other, but you see that they're both fucked up, you know? Although I get the feeling that you're more on this person's side than this person. Before I go too much more into this person, I'd say this would be like the boss lady. And upright, like, this is the divine feminine. This is the motherly figure. This is the abundant and generous, and she's so fucking cool, and she's all, and when you started this, I'm guessing it's like a job or whatever, but when you started this situation, you really thought she was all that, and she seemed to be all that. She seemed to be fucking cool as shit. Laid back, chill, everything's together, generous, is all gonna be so good. Yeah. She put up a good front. You're seeing through the bullshit. You're seeing the truth of the situation. All right. This one is a victim. She cries all the time. She has no power. She has no why people are so mean to her. You might really like her, but like, come on, man. like take some charge of your life. And so I feel like there's this fighting going on, and it's stupid power plays, and she doesn't know how to be a boss, and she, at least this bitch, like, you tell her to do the thing and she does it. She doesn't start crying about it and take it personally, but they're all 3 fucked up bitches. So, and if this isn't a work thing, there's whatever, take it for what it is. You know, this can be a family dynamic, this can be whatever it is, but definitely feels like 3 very different people. So, all right, we've talked about them. Then there's this other, it's almost like Aries, you've got like a couple of different scenarios happening in your world. And it's like, okay, I'm home from work. I'm done dealing with the three bitches. And now I'm home, and, or it can be something else. You know, I've left one project. Now I'm at another project. And now it's this whole other thing. Fuck, Aries, how many traps can you fall into? This one isn't so bad. There's actually some really good things. There's just a couple of, you've got a couple of fives, and they're like such sad fives. I'll show you the fives. You got the Five of Cups, and you've got the Five of Swords. And just where they're placed too, it's, so I'll just say what the other cards are. Over here, up here, you've got the Queen of Pentacles. You've got the Star. You've got the Two of Pentacles. And you've got the Ace of Wands. So really good cards here. Really good cards. It's just that leaning on one side of the Star are these two fives. You know, the lying and the cheating and the gaslighting. This is gaslighting. Now, this could have to do with one or more of these women over here. I don't know. But this is like, this is somebody using their words to win at all costs. This might be you, Aries, because it's like holding down the Star. And so this could be like a more in-depth kind of a thing, interacting with these women, or this could be a completely different scenario. Of course, you know your life better than I do, because this is for, you know, Aries energy. So take it for what you want. If this is you, it feels like you're constantly in a word battle. You're constantly in a mind battle. And it's like, whatever you're arguing about, it's like there's such a thing of like this pattern repeating that there's no substance to even what you're arguing about. It's like there's no purpose for it. There's no substance. It's just get in there and win. Just get into the battle. It's just a constant, it's become all about that. And again, another five. So you've got three fives. So when I see 555, like I go to the angel numbers, and 555 means major changes are happening. They're like just around the corner. If they haven't already begun, be prepared for some major change, Aries. Okay, so yeah, and so it's like there's no substance. Either that, or you're just constantly on the defense because somebody is constantly coming after you, and you're recognizing the gaslighting because and again, it can be two different scenarios. It might be right for some people and not, and this one might be the right one for the other people. And the gaslighting, and I don't feel the hit of gaslighting as strongly as I sometimes do with this card, but it merits to, you know, to say it. I was married to a not very nice person, and he would gaslight me so bad. And it's like he got some pleasure out of this. It was just about stealing my sword, stealing my mind. And I called it the grass is pink, because it was so extreme that like, it's like I could go outside and say, look how beautiful and blue the sky is. And he would come back with like, what do you mean the grass is pink? I mean, this didn't really happen, but this is how it felt, you know. What do you mean the grass is pink? And I'd be like, no, I was talking about the sky. It's so blue and pretty, you know. You said the grass is pink, and you're always calling the grass pink, and he would create such a misunderstanding on purpose that finally, just to get my mind back and just to stop fighting about such stupidness, I would end up explaining what I meant by the grass is pink when I knew that was never what I said in the first place. So Aries, if you're in a situation like this, like, and it very much does kind of feel like this is reflecting into the first scenario, because again, it's a work you love. You feel like a star, you know? It feels like it's your life's work and you're very humbly connected to this. And it makes you really sad, the thought of walking away. And I'm sorry, Aries, but it looks like because now I'm just looking at the star, and the star is, well, for okay, I'm gonna finish with this. It's almost cliche, this card, what's said about it, but it's the truth, you know. This person is so upset and they're all in their grief, you know, they're all in their shadow, and they're crying over the loss of the 3 cups spilled over. But if they would just turn around, they'd see the 2 cups still standing. And no, it's not these same 3, but it is something. And then, you know, then when they turn around, then they come and there's a bridge and they go across, and there's a castle. There's this whole next chapter. It feels like it's inevitable. It feels like it's inevitable that you are probably going to have to cut your losses and get away from this, because it's detracting from this, and it's like you're trying to ignore it. You're trying to ignore these thoughts of leaving. You're trying to ignore that this constant energy is just always there, and you're trying to, and look, the way it was, it's like she's pouring the water back into the water. It's like she's nourishing her own emotions. She's nourishing her own depth. And she's naked, she's transparent. Like, she just feels like the more honest she is, the more true she is, the more she shines her light, the more she keeps doing it, the more she can at least keep a balance at work. But you see in the background, like, it's not easy to keep balance, because it's just these waves. It just ups and downs and ups and downs, and it's hard to keep your footing. I don't know why the person not on the water has such a hard time, but they really, they're juggling. It's hard to keep the balance. And you're really just trying to tune out the voice of I'm leaving. You're trying to tune out the really horrible mind fuckery. And then there's this Queen of Pentacles, which makes me feel like it's one of these two ladies. Like I said, I have the feeling you liked the Queen of Cups better, but it could be one of either of these. I don't feel like, I feel like this energy goes with this energy, you know, they're swords. That I feel like one of these, or maybe even both of these, you like working with them. Like, you don't like the dynamic between them, but I feel like you see them both as like hardworking, and you enjoy the work that they do. And so it's like you're really, and this, the way the star is, like, she's totally faced towards this person. So good job, Aries, in like trying to tune out the bullshit. Like, really good job for that. So this Ace of Wands kind of feels out of place. And so it's like I want to put this Ace of Wands over here with this Ace of Swords in this blank slate. Because, well, it's interesting where the Ace of Wands was. It was over here on the side of the 2 5s. These two. And so what really kind of what I'm getting at is like, are you being asked to maybe strike out on your own? And so maybe that's it. Like, maybe whatever the work is that you do, maybe you keep getting these ideas or even downloads of like, wow, you could start your own business, or maybe somebody else is like hinting they'd like you to come work at their company or something. And this, whatever this is, this opportunity, this idea, this passion, whatever, it feels like an opportunity. Whether it's an opportunity to start your own business or whatever it is, whatever this opportunity is, really, it's fire energy too. So it's like it's lighting its path through it's really illuminating these energies. Oops. It's really illuminating these energies where it is. So again, I want to kind of move this over. I mean, is it possible, Aries, that your truth is that you can create the work that you love? You can shine and be nourished and nourish yourself and do this nourishing, healing work with whatever this opportunity or idea is? Is it possible? I think it's possible, Aries. I do. So, yeah. So, like, I just want to clear all these other cards away. And I've got this other deck here, and it was really the other deck. And this one wants to talk too, but I'm going to wait for a second on that. I've got this other deck here, and I didn't shuffle too much, but two cards opened up facing each other, and they were such strong cards that I couldn't say no to them. I tried to put them back into shuffle, and the moon was like, you better acknowledge this. And it was facing the 10 of Pentacles. And it's interesting to me that, I don't know, something about the 10 of Pentacles. It's like the 10 of Pentacles has been talking to me quite a bit the last few days. And it's kind of, I want to say, sorry, I get caught up on myself. It feels like you have a solid foundation. You've got safety. So it's like anchoring you into safety. And it's like kind of the reason why you don't want to take a chance on anything. You don't want to embrace a blank canvas. You'd rather stay where you're at and endure the discomfort or even misery because you've built a solid foundation. You feel abundant there. And that makes a lot of sense, Aries. And you know what? Ultimately, you are at choice. And it looks like you could choose that. And you wouldn't be wrong, except that, again, it's interesting that the imagery, the way it was, the moon and the figures that are on the moon, and then the lovers reversed was right above it. And it's like I have to turn it sideways so you can see like how there's like this mirrored effect, but it's like this, the moon. And what does the moon do? The moon is reflective, right? The sun illuminates, the moon reflects. The moon is reflective. It shines back to you a deeper truth. The moon also goes into cycles, and I may go into that in just a second, but just this reflective quality, having this mirror image, and the mirror image is the lovers reversed. And that's why I started, at first I was like, is this another fucking love reading? This may apply to your love life. Like all of these things, it could apply to, the gossiping bitches who are, or whatever, just take it as it applies, But if it's a job thing, again, it's illuminating that this is not a happy partnership. And so if it's a work thing, this is not the love of your life job. And why shouldn't our jobs, why shouldn't we go after the love of our life job? You know what I mean? The career of our dreams or whatever. And yet there's plenty of reasons. Well, this is a good reason why. I get that. It's interesting the other cards that are presenting, but I just want to validate that even though this is the truth of it, this is a really good reason to stay where you're at. I get it. Oh, fuck, Aries. Okay, well, You'll find out why I said fuck in a minute. I just want to talk about the moon though, really quick. So, I like to say that true time, the clock on the wall is not true time. The calendar, that's not true time. It's a little bit close. But true time is cyclical. True time is cyclical. The earth doesn't go around the sun in a box creating these 12 boxes. You know what I mean? It's created as a tool, and it's understandable. It's that these things became established as an authority that isn't cool. And so that's why I'm very I like to emphasize true time is cyclical. True time is cyclical. And our closest representative of the cycles of time, besides our Earth going around the sun and all the other planets going around the sun, is the moon going around the Earth. The moon goes around the Earth in a cycle, full moon to new moon to full moon, and women's bodies correlate to that cycle of the moon. So I feel that true time is feminine in nature, and femininity is freer. Femininity doesn't need structure so much. Not to put down the masculine. It's just that the structure, time, the way it's been presented to us, the structure can be useful, but it shouldn't be an authority. This divine cycle is not necessarily an authority either, but it puts you back into sovereignty. Because when you can come back to center and align with and attune to your natural cycles, your natural rhythms, then maybe it helps you understand, Aries, that you've come to a completion cycle. Tens are numbers of completion. You've come to a completion cycle with this job. And what's being shown underneath the Lovers reversed, is the Tower card. And so what this says to me, Aries, is that either embrace the new and start painting the new canvas, or cling to it and it's all gonna fall to shit anyway. And so you can get out now and avoid the collapse, but this situation is collapsing. It's going the fuck down. And it's interesting too, because I just did Taurus's reading, and the Tower was in there, and I used the Rider-Waite deck. I wish I knew the name of this deck. Somebody gifted it to me at the shop where I do readings, and it didn't come with the box, so whatever. But in the Rider-Waite Smith deck, the Tower, I read something and somebody had pointed out that there's no door. And so that tower was actually a prison, and it's this self imprisonment situation, whatever. And so the tower is like a collapsing of self. It's interesting that this is the deck that wanted to talk to you for your reading, because the other two readings I did tonight was the Rider-Waite deck and a William Blake deck. But this one, and I feel like it's for this Tower card, because this Tower card does have a door. You're not trapped. Get out while the getting's good, Aries. Really, whether this is a job situation, whether this is a relationship, again, I feel like this is pretty intense. You know what this is. You need to get out. There is an escape door, because this shit's going down, man. And it's interesting, the major arcanas that are coming out, the Lovers reversed, the Moon, the Tower, and underneath the Tower, you've got Temperance, which is really somewhat reminiscent of the Star card. Let me take a drink. It's somewhat reminiscent of the Star card, but instead of kneeling down and pouring the water back into the water and pouring the water onto the earth, which is nourishing, I feel like pouring water into the water is nourishing your own emotions, and pouring water on the ground and pouring, so nourishing your own emotions, and then pouring water on the ground is also nourishing the ground, the solid ground you stand on. So in a way, this is what you do, the light you shine to affect your surroundings. And I felt like that's what it was saying when it was showing that Two of Pentacles beneath this. Like, you're trying to nourish the balance. You're trying to nourish the balance. You're trying to nourish the atmosphere. Whereas this is all self-contained. So this is so much more about you, who you are within, and kind of how this is kind of how, you know, you in your sovereignty affect your surroundings. And this is more how your surroundings affect you standing in your sovereignty, if that makes sense. And when I think of temperance, I think of like how they temper a sword. You know, there's such extremes. There's like heat practically melting the metal, and then it's pounded into, you know, form, and then it's immersed into like ice cold water. And those are such fucking extremes. And it can be so devastating, but somehow it makes the steel at its maximum strength. Take a deep breath, Aries. And so it really feels like, stop trying to put out fires, because, and isn't that funny? Here, you've got all this water, you've been putting out fires, but it's burning. Some shit needs to be purified. And from what I've seen, it really isn't you that's starting any of these fires. You're just keeping the balance. But like, you know, it reminds me of like 2020. We all had our 2020 experiences. I'm a singer, and the band and the management just, it was the same situation. And it doesn't mean like any of them were just fucking bitches and that was it. But in some ways, they were all acting like fucking bitches. In the end, I got sucked into being a fucking bitch, you know? But for most of it, I felt like I was this card. I was trying to nourish it all, trying to be the peacekeeper, trying to, you know, create an understanding, trying to do the communication, trying to, you know, and I just felt so put in the middle. And ultimately, I found that there is no amount of balance that I can achieve that is going to force people to be what I want them to be. Sometimes we just have to bear witness to what people do to themselves and to each other. And their interaction with each other has to do with them. And our witnessing it has to do with them and has to do with us. It's all, you know, I'm always quoting Abraham Hicks, but it's all a co-creative thing, right? And maybe we don't enjoy every little thing that we helped co-create, but it's not even always about enjoyment, but it's about making us stronger, man, so that whatever goes on, we are strong unto ourselves. We are nourished unto ourselves. No matter what, they don't have the power to take us down anymore. I'm almost feeling like the Queen of Cups reversed in that first scenario may have been you, Aries, which is like the least Aries thing. So maybe it wasn't. Maybe some of you, maybe you really diminish yourself because you don't want to fight. Maybe you really let yourself be the underdog or whatever. You just let yourself because you just want peace. Maybe it's you, maybe it's someone else, whatever. But Aries, come on, you're an Aries. Like, I can't even believe I just said that. There's no way Aries would ever do that, would they? But my dad's an Aries. And yeah, you would. Y'all are such softies on the inside. Y'all are such softies. Got big voices. But Aries, you're just loves. You are just beautiful, loving, you're passionate and kind. Maybe not every Aries I've ever known, but I have a soft spot for my dad, and he's so kind and so humble, and that's that star energy. And so Aries, like, you don't have anything to prove. If that's who you are, that's who you are, you know? But be some of that too. Stop putting out other people's fires, because if they're determined to burn shit down, it's going to burn down, man. So step into your sovereignty, step into your power. You do have options available to you. Again, possibly starting your own business, or someone else has a business and they are inviting you, and you're scared to leave this solid energy. But again, shit's going down, man. You're getting out of there one way or the other, because you can't control what these fuckers are creating. So and even more clarity to that. And I feel like this may be wow, that's interesting. That's interesting. So underneath that 10 of Pentacles, remember the safety, the reason for staying, because it's security, right? Underneath that is the King of Pentacles reversed. So you don't have a solid foundation where you're at. It does feel like such a job reading, but whatever. You don't have the solid foundation you've convinced yourself you have. When you're constantly trying to put out fires, when you're constantly trying to keep your balance, it's not just you that's being affected by all this bullshit that's going on. It's not just you. And so you're not responsible for it. They got to go through what they got to go through. You have a choice right now. Do you need to go down in flames with the rest of it all? You don't have to. Because if you do, though, yeah, your foundation's going to be pulled out from under you. But if you take the opportunity, if you listen to yourself and speak your truth, and you let all of this situation that's been happening, help you get very in tune with what your truth is, and speak your truth, and trust that you have called a much better opportunity to yourself. All you got to do is speak it into being, or say yes and let it create. Then you become, not once, but twice, the King of Swords. Which is so interesting. These swords energies, like, these were some heavy hitting fucking swords energy. These were people who lie and manipulate. These were situations. This was such fuckery. But in the end, you come out upright. You come out, you speak your truth into being. And the king, again, is the more active energy. Like the queens, I mean, they can be active, especially like the Queen of Wands or whatever. They can, the Emperor, they can be active, like, but it's more of a feminine thing to receive. So this King of Swords energy, and swords, it's air energy. It's very masculine, but whatever you identify as, this is just the aspect of you acting on your truth, creating something based on your truth. And I also kind of feel like if this is an opportunity, somebody's asking you to grow a new business with them or something like that, I feel like the two King of Swords, regardless of gender of the actual people, your truth is going to be mirrored by this other honest person. I love how the whole night has been about mirrors, about mirroring. But isn't that nice to go to work and this isn't an emotional thing going on. You know what you want, and you're clear, and you communicate about it. And so this won't be like an emotional thing, but maybe after seeing all that feminine energy and all that toxic femininity, because indeed that's what that was. If there's a thing as toxic masculinity, there's definitely a thing as toxic femininity. whatever you've been experiencing, that is toxic femininity. This is not that. Again, regardless of gender, this is someone who wants to help, who has the same truth in mind, the same goals in mind, very clear, good communication, honesty. That's important. And it won't, and maybe whatever it is that you're into, Aries, maybe it's better without all the emotion, you know? Maybe the emotion. Now, again, though, it's an opportunity that you're passionate about. I feel like it very much, if it's not the same work that you love so much, um, it's very much in vibrational resonance with it, because this is passion. And I don't feel like the universe is going to give you this honest, this breath of fresh air, honest person who just wants to do the work and do the stuff. I don't feel like the universe would send you that if you couldn't, feel this way. And it will be different. This person might be kind of cold sometimes, shut off from their feelings, whatever. Maybe it's a more ideal partnership for you at this time. This doesn't have to last forever either, but this is definitely an opportunity to show you that you can close one door and walk through another, and you can start all over. And when you do that, you're given a blank slate. And now the final card to go with this, you got the whole world in your hands, baby. The world is your oyster. The world is your oyster. What are you going to create? Whew, that gave me chills in my knees. All right, Aries, I think that's as good as done. Like, what more could I say? Like, I say like a lot, whatever. Ooh, and I thought that was the last card, and then I looked down and I saw the 9 of Cups. That's wish fulfillment. So it is emotional fulfillment. This will be emotionally satisfying. It just won't be, it's like maybe if this was a work situation, which it so strongly seems to be, maybe you got too close to these people, and even if it was toxic femininity, like, that doesn't mean that they weren't embodied in masculine bodies or whatever. It was just this maybe you guys got too close. I like to make family with where I work, but maybe this is showing you that people are toxic, and maybe the type of work that you do or what you want to accomplish, maybe what you want to accomplish is bigger than being involved in all this petty bullshit. Drama, you don't need it. You don't need it. Get clear and focused on what you want, get the ideas rolling, get the communication rolling, and do the thing. It's really good, and it will be emotionally fulfilling. Wish fulfillment. And the world is your oyster. And wands again, that's fire energy. That's inspiration. And it's like looking at it here and then visualizing it out here. Yeah. All right, Aries, cool. I love resolution. I love resolution. I hope that helps you out. If you would like a personal reading from me, the best way is to send me an email, airyfairytarot@gmail.com. Of course, I'll put all the info in down below, I do have a Facebook page that I intend to get back to. I just took a long break from Facebook, but whatever. So best way is to do my Gmail. Otherwise, go ahead and hit up Facebook, and I'll get back to that in the next couple days. And what else? Yeah, I do private readings. If you're in the Colorado Springs, Manitou Springs area, I am doing in-person readings as well at CK Comics in Manitou. And I do palm readings as well as tarot. And I also do astrology chart readings and whatever too. So whatever. And I can do astrology online too, but just hit me up and I can tell you prices and whatever. In the meantime, love and blessings. Oh, also, if you would like to tip me, donate or whatever, I'll put my Venmo and PayPal links in down there too, if you feel like being generous. But whatever. Love and blessings to you, Aries. And until next time, bye.